Well, if you stand up from your chair and you feel pain in your lower back, it could be your SI joint.
So here to tell us more about this specific type of pain is physical therapy assistant Jared Brickley from Steppin' Up Fitness.
Tell us, first of all, what is an SI joint?
The sacroiliac joint is the joint that connects the sacrum into the left and right ilium. So its primary function is to transmit load from the spine down into the pelvis.
So then what are the symptoms of that joint dysfunction?
Symptoms can vary. A lot of people experience low back pain, groin pain, thigh pain. It can also resemble the same type of symptoms as a disc bulge, which is why it's hard to diagnose and often overlooked.
Are there different causes of it, or is it just from the procedure of sitting up and standing down? Standing down and sitting up.
Yeah, there's multiple causes, and the one that I want to go over is a specific posture. I call it the Statue of David posture. I think we have a picture over here of it. But what it pretty much is, that one right there, is pretty much where somebody is weight shifted to one side more than the other. And what that does is it causes asymmetries within the hips.
So then how do you fix that?
So we take a look at what the imbalances are. So the tissues that are tight and restricted in physical therapy, what we try doing is loosening them up, whether or not it's through stretching, soft tissue mobilization. We do trigger point dry needling. And then for the opposite side, the part of the hip that is weak and loose, we try doing strengthening and stabilization exercises for it.
And what kind of success do you have with that type of stuff?
Really, it's a high success rate. I mean, everybody's different. It depends on what the true cause is.
So is there a good way to prevent it? Should you just be careful of how you're standing and sitting and be aware of that?
Yep, you want to be aware of your standing posture. That posture, a lot of people stand in there and they don't even realize that they're doing it until somebody ends up pointing it out.
So when someone comes to you, it's just this, you see something like very early on, it's better to call, I'm assuming. Will it get worse over time?
Yeah, it will. It's much like a seated posture. You know, when you're seated for a long period of time, your tissues actually adapt to that seated positioning. So it's the same kind of thing when you're standing. If your weight shifted to one side, that usually could tighten up one part of the hip, but then on the opposite side of the hip, the tissue will get more weak and lead to an unstable SI joint.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in. Great information. You can find out more about Steppin' Up Physical Therapy at any of their 4 locations.
And Greg is up next with the last check on your forecast.